Hey everyone, this video we're just going to check out a real quick draft of creating a GPT. This is a quick and dirty way to produce a set of instructions. So let's just take a look. So first off, we'll start by kind of contextualizing what we'd like our GPT to do. We're going to start with ChatGPT, and we're going to make a mortgage or payment calculator. And so first we need to kind of set the scene here. We've got chat thinking about how to calculate that mortgage payment. And so we want to create an assistant for to calculate this payment. And so we ask it to, well, what would we have to do to have an assistant do this process? And so this is a little bit more of contextualizing, giving all these steps. Some of this stuff would be good to use to build our GPT. For example, how to calculate might be useful to build in there to give it a set process to go through every time. And so we don't actually use that, but we could go back and use that if we needed. And so keep in mind what we're creating here is a first draft. Here I'm asking GPT if it knows how to create ChatGPTs, or the other way around, asking ChatGPT if it knows how to create custom GPTs. And it really doesn't. Most of the time I ask it, it always kind of thinks that we're talking about like making GPTs with their OpenAI API, which means like you're kind of programming a new ChatGPT type of thing. So here I'm telling it, yeah, we can make those now. And so the main parts are we need a name, a description, and a set of instructions. And so here it's kind of feeding back what we've told it, and we're kind of checking for understanding. Did it process the input we gave correctly? And so it says, okay, and the main things were you need a name, you need a description, and you need a set of instructions. So here we're going to say, okay, it's already got that context. It knows knows about mortgages. It knows about GPTs. So let's make one. Ask it to make one for mortgage calculation. And so there's its name. There's its description, and then here comes its set of instructions. And keep in mind that these instructions may be good. They may not be, but it's something to start with. And so, for example, the description was long. It needs to be really short, just like a line or two. So first of all, we'll have it revise that description. And we want the set of instructions to be formatted in a way that's good for the GPT to read. And so Markdown format works real well for that. So we ask it to put those instructions in Markdown format. There's our and also mention the role and the goal. So we've got a name, we've got a description, we've got the role, we've got the goal, we've got a set of instructions. It's a starting place. And so I'm working on my phone here. I want to be able to copy and paste this stuff real quick. So I'm going to ask it here to put the name and the short description in individual code blocks so I can copy and paste them also with the instructions, and that way I can just hit those copy code buttons and then transfer them right over to the GPT when I'm creating it. All right, so we've got most of the stuff there. We got a name, we got a description, we got a set of initial instructions. One thing we're missing is that example calculation, and so we could go back and use that, but I'm kind of being lazy here, so I'm just saying include an example calculation in the instructions. That'll give it, well, literally an example to go off of, so kind of a template of the way we want it to calculate. All right, so there's our new instructions. Looks like our example calculation is built in there at number 5. And so if we kind of just scroll over and take a look at what's going on, yeah, I'm not going to look at this real close right now, but in practice we would want to make sure that that's the right math that we want it to do. We need to check the reasoning as well as the processing and the calculation. So one thing we want to make sure is that it is using Python to calculate, not just by rote memory out of the LLM, the language model. And so we'll ask it to add in a rule that says we always have to use Python. And so if we look at the very last part, always use Python for calculations. It's one of its rules that we'll use. Put an emoji in there because I asked it to highlight it. So evidently that was how it chose to do it, and that might be effective. That the LLM will signify it, will notice that as something special in its instructions, and it'll take note of that, hopefully. All right, so we want to build this GPT. We've got sort of all of our parts ready to put them together. Here we go. Let's put in our name, Loan Calculator GPT. Let's put in the short description. All right. And let's put in our rules for the set of instructions. Now remember, our instructions, we typically want to do like role, goal, and then constraints or rules. And so we're going to add in some space here for the role and the goal. Let's go back. We had the role and the goal upstairs here in this other chat, so let's go find it. There it is. Loan Payment Advisor is its role. And its goal, provide accurate loan payment calculations. So we'll start that first. Sorry for the slow copying and pasting here. But so we'll get this set up in Markdown format, which if you don't know what that is, that's okay. You can ask ChatGPT to translate any text in the Markdown format. What you're seeing here is like the hashtags. The triple hashtags means like title. Double hashtags mean like a header. Single hashtags mean a subheader. Double asterisks, double stars mean that it's bolded. And so it's a way of formatting, getting titles and headers and bold notation, and without actually having to do it visually, we do it textually. And so it's actually more accessible for people that, visually impaired, for example, and for language models, they can't see either. Okay, so we've got our updated rules there. Let's go back to our GPT. So we've got the goals. I'm going to paste in the new rules with that. You always use Python piece. I put in the wrong rules before. They need to make sure you have current versions of your instructions. Now, conversation starters. These are literally like the first prompt in to get your GPT running. And so you don't actually have to have these, but they're useful to help your user understand what the inputs are or how you can interact with the bot that you're building. And so for us, this is a mortgage calculator. What's the loan amount? I mean, it could be car payment, could be personal loan, could be any kind of loan. So here we're doing 10K, 7% APR, so that's annual interest rate. Loan term is 5 years, and so probably should have specified the how frequently we're paying, but more than likely it'll just assume monthly. It's typically car payments, mortgage payments. So we'll go with that. Let's see if it works. And so we want to test our model. And so here's our 198.01 for $10,000 at 7% APR over 5 years. And let's just, we'll want to validate this. So let's go somewhere else. There's all kinds of loan payment calculators out there. We'll pick one. Let's do our 10K over 5 years. Now keep in mind this is really a quick and dirty. This just gets us started. And so we really want to go back into that GPT. We'd want to test this a bunch. We might want to tweak it, give it an example of how it would interact with our user. We might even want to build in like a menu system. And so there's lots of different kind of tweaks to do here. But we have a working GPT right now. Perfect. Yeah, the 198.01 was exactly what we were looking for there. So I know that's quick. Feel free to go back and pause and watch again. But yeah, so using AI to to create AI. Kind of meta. All right. Take care.